Go. Hey, what's good? This is Marianne is 5150. I've got my special friend Rexella Wynter here tonight. We're going to talk about Metallica, nothing but Metallica, nothing but tea spilling Metallica, maybe a little bit of Megadeth because, Megadeth and Metallica are so together. But we're going to but we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about well, I don't know. Do you want to start with the pictures from Greece?
Sure.
And then we'll go backwards.
Yeah, I love going backwards. That's the only way I go.
Oh, woohoo! All right. Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, because apparently I have no friends. So you're my pretend friend. So it's
okay.
It's really it's special.
Yeah, I'm not real.
Yeah, you're my imaginary friend. So, yeah. And I'm so grateful for my imaginary friends. Now, I'm still playing with this stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out how I get images up here.
Sure.
And yeah. Well, it's everything. How was your day? You had a good day though, right?
Yeah, basically, I told you how my day was. I just had like a couple of meetings and then I had to see mom and help her out, and
good. Yeah, well,
just got back home and then, nothing really spectacular. I'm still trying to find those winning lottery numbers. So,
what's interesting? Here's an interesting story. My friend, her daughter died last month. Her birthday was the 20th of December. My friend went and got lottery tickets. Her birthday's tomorrow. And she said that this daughter always took over her birthday. And she gets these lottery tickets, and 3 of the numbers on 3 different tickets, 2012.
2012.
Well, the daughter's birthday was December 20th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's like, okay, she's still here. She still wants you to pay attention to her, so, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm allowed here. I need to add something. Let me just have here. Add media. Here we go. Add media. Okay, so we're going to put an image up here. Okay, but let's start with these.
Well, this is like metal tea. I'm going to have my coffee.
So we're gonna start with yeah. We'll start with this one. Okay, so this is James Hetfield yesterday at the airport in Greece. First of all, he shows up dressed like a cowboy. Okay, can you see the picture?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So he shows up dressed like all in black and a cowboy. His fiance is dressed like Grimace. Well, it's not. This is all feedback from off the internet that I got all this. You should see some of the pictures. They compared him to like a hedgehog and all this crazy stuff. Like it was just so funny. So here so we've got these pictures. So we see and add another image here. Yeah, there's 2 of them. So this is the one that was. There we go. All right. So as we see, James isn't doing so good, right? Well, I mean, first of all, how do I put it? Well, I mean, like here, I'll add another picture I'll add the most current picture prior to Greece, which is the Vegas James one that I have. Hi, that's me. Add a scene. Okay, like I said, this is we're just having fun with this one. Here's the image, and that would be where's Vegas James in here? Yeah, well, here's Vegas James and Adriana the Enabler. Okay, so this is, or as I like to call her, Mama Wannabe.
Oh, right.
Well, I mean, she thinks she's famous. She's got 50,000 followers on Instagram, so she thinks she's famous. So I mean, whatever. Like she's wearing an Edward Scissorhands bag. Like she's like the joke is that the joke. I like Edward Scissorhands.
Is this woman like 12?
Yeah, the whole outfit's. I mean, both of these outfits say they were drinking prior to the attendance.
Well, it looks like one is basically looking for Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah. Well, now she looks like Grimace in the other pictures. I'll have to pull one up. I guess I'll have to do it by phone. But so basically, the story goes like this: is that when she was originally introduced as the girlfriend, they lied and said that she went to Oxford University. And then from there, and that she studied journalism. So she was a journalist. And then it was that she was a designer. And then we found out the truth is that she was stalking him at the CrossFit Fitness gym that he was working out at. And she was the manager.
She wasn't working there. She was stalking him.
Well, this is what's been said. Like, I'm going by only by what, like, there was a woman, and I can show you her picture on here. Her name's Patty Blackwell, but she goes by Petra Goldberg on Instagram. And she started stalking me when I came up with the information. You see, James Hetfield had an affair prior to Adriana when he was still married to Francesca. He bought a piece of property up near the area that I was living in, Owen Sound, and it was a 100-acre property, and he was growing pot. You see, for years, this band and James discriminated against me for smoking weed. And then when they found out how much money they could make doing it when weed became legal, they decided they were going to grow it and make money. So, yeah, well, hypocrisy runs real deep with Metallica. So, like, yeah, well, it does. It just runs massively deep.
We haven't noticed those 80s freaking, fans from like the 80s. Like, we haven't figured that out.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that, they get like, I mean, they're really angry at me right now. Like, most of these fans are like just fucking freaking right out. Oh, she's back, and somebody said, Lars took his hat off in 2025 for the first time since 2016. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I said, just show me a picture. Prove me wrong. This is what I'm looking for. When I'm looking for Lars, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the skullet. Okay. I'm looking for the skullet.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Well, he was a beautiful baby. He was an ugly adult. So basically what I'm looking for is any images of Lars between 2022 December. This is the fake Lars. Okay. There he is. This is the doppelganger. And this picture was taken at the Tribeca Film Festival in the summer of 2025 when they did the movie Metallica Saves My Life. I don't know whose life they saved, but apparently they did. So anyway, didn't save mine. They ruined mine. So basically this guy has not taken his fucking hat off since then. I mean, like I have taken tons and I've done tons and tons of searching. I've double dog dared people, said, please find me a photo, just do it. Just find me anything you can that shows me a picture of Lars without his hat on between December 2022 and now. And not one person can do that. There are also no pictures of him with his sons. This is the only photograph of the doppelganger. These are the doppelgangers. Again, he's got a hat on. And that's Miles, that's Lane, and that's Bryce, and that's Connie Nielsen. And that's Connie's mom. And this is on Bryce's birthday. This was in 2025. So this is the only time they've ever been all seen together. It's the only time that Lars has been seen with these two sons since 2022. Whereas there was, just before that, there were massive photographs of him with his kids. Every single photograph he had was with his kids. And now you never see them with him. The reason why these photographs were being taken, I personally believe, is because they're trying to protect his estate. Because it belongs to me.
It belongs to you.
Well, I mean, the man stalked me from 1998 until 2022. I think he owes me something, right? And now that, anyway, so we'll go into that. So anyway, so that's the only picture of Lars with his sons at all since 2022. Since he was, I guess we should go through this. I believe, and this is my TV show, so I can say whatever I want. I believe that Lars Ulrich was arrested in November of 2022 after the Zazula show, when it was the last performance in Hollywood, Florida. Nobody knows anything about it because it was part of a larger picture, which includes political figures. And those political figures were arrested as well, and they're still working, continuing to arrest people. So keeping that in mind, there haven't been, it hasn't been announced yet. This is the real Lars. Okay, so you see the hair, the skullet. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a photograph exactly. Well, this is what he did when Lars was having a good time playing drums. He would stick his tongue out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he would stick his tongue out. He doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't spit on it, Gatorade on his fans anymore. Like he probably will now that I'm saying it, right? But if you go back to the other videos of this last tour that's gone on for the last 3 years, since 2023 April, like all he did was he showed up at the All Within My Hands show, which you know, because I asked you to go and look for it, to see if you could find the All Within My Hands on Paramount Plus, where it's supposed to be, of 2022. And you can't find it, can you?
Did I look? Was this a while back?
Yeah, that was that one. That was the charity show that they did.
Oh yeah. I was
and you couldn't find it.
I was able to see parts of it, but I couldn't see the actual.
Yeah, like you never saw Jimmy
you really
Kimmel.
wanted me to find it got cut off or something.
Yeah, like you didn't see Jimmy Kimmel. You didn't see, because those, like Jimmy Kimmel, and that was when he looks like he's seen a ghost. Jimmy Kimmel does, and Robert Downey Jr. looks like he's going to vomit. And the reason being is because it's not Lars. Right? And so there's all this. Okay, so back to the front, we're talking James. So we see these pictures of James. This is just before. This is what I call him. I call him Vegas James. Where'd we go?
Okay, Vegas James. Mm-hmm.
This is Vegas James. Yes, this is Vegas James. So I call this one. Oh, he's uploading. Taking a minute here.
Yeah.
I call them now Vegas James and Metallica Vanilli. Here he comes. Okay, so there's Vegas James. Okay, I have done facial recognition to all of these pictures, and they come up. I know, right? Like if you could, like, okay, I mean, this is, I mean, it just gets worse, right? I mean, it just shows you this woman is no good for him. Like, look at, okay, he looks great, not bad, Vegas, douchey. What happened? Like, that's like, he hasn't been seen in public since their last show last year, right? I can't remember when that was. They didn't even do it All Within My Hands. So I think it was like 6 months ago. And he just looks like, the only thing we've seen are just the engagement pictures. He just looks like he's had his head shaved, but he just looks awful. Like his
Speaking
eyes.
of which, I don't know who it was. I was like talking to somebody on X, and we were talking about the, Dave Mustaine and James Hetfield, and we were arguing back and forth. And he was like, well, he thought that James looks better, his age. But I'm like, dude, man, Dave's had cancer and just got through chemo. He's like, yeah, well, you know what? I know that James has got hair plugs.
Well, he was hot in the 90s. He was hot. I had a huge crush on him. I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, I mean, even here, he's not bad, right? Like, here he is in 2009. This is what I call normal James, right? And then you compare him to Vegas James, right? It's just like, okay, so these two guys. So what I did was what's called facial recognition, which is what I've been using on Lars. Oh, right, checking out cleaning, looking at your cleaning. Great.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, good. I don't mind. Whatever.
That's my coffee machine.
Woo, get your coffy. Okay, so
I don't have tea, so
I did facial recognition on Vegas James and normal James, which is this right here. And as you can see, the face is matched, right? Okay, so then I did this again with Lars. I'll show you. Here it comes. This is gonna. Yeah, so I did this with fake Lars, real Lars. So here's fake Lars, okay, which I've shown. This is fake Lars. He's older. This guy definitely is older than Lars. He's got pointy ears. Lars didn't have pointy ears. He's also very slender. Like, he's not, like, Lars was kind of like, he never worked out. He ran and that was it, played tennis, but he didn't work out. Yeah, he was kind of smushy in the middle. So, and then his wife tried to make him go vegan, but the only thing is that, like, it's just, they were using cocaine. Like, Lars Ulrich was an absolute cocaine addict. You'll never change my mind. Shall I show them the picture, my favorite picture? My favorite picture of Lars and his wife is this one from 2019 from the Grammys when they performed with Lady Gaga. And as you can see, she's starving to death. And they're both so high on cocaine, it's not even funny. If they're not high on cocaine, they're dying. So Well, I mean, come on. I mean, so and this is, and then
She
I'll show
just
you.
looks like a Hollywood zombie.
Oh yeah, well, so look at her. I mean, it's just ridiculous. She's just disgusting looking. Now, I'll show you the picture of the fake James or the fake Lars and his at the Tribeca Film Festival.
All right.
Your body doesn't repair itself like that. It just doesn't. Like these are the doppelgangers.
Okay. So there's a little difference there.
Okay,
Yeah.
they look very different than fucking this. Like, you see what I mean?
I'm so scared.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like 6 years is not going to make like that 6 years difference. It's still not, you can't fix yourself that much. Not even cosmetic surgery does that. And the other thing is too, is that she's a vegan, or at least Jessica Miller, the psycho was. And she's wearing a leather jacket, and so is he. And she would never allow that. Never. If you look at any of the other pictures of Lars from back then, he never, ever, ever was wearing leather, ever. So, you know, I mean, there's so many hypocrisies. The other thing is too, is that what's missing from Lars with in this picture as well, the toothpick.
Full letter.
Where's his toothpick? Right, the toothpick that never left his fucking mouth. But then all of a sudden it reappeared after I made a comment about it just before they played Dubai. That's when the last time they played last year was they played Dubai. And in Dubai, all of a sudden the toothpick reappeared. And you watch the Instagram of it and they actually show him like chewing on the toothpick. So it's like, because I was writing it on social media and someone said to me, oh yeah, right, the toothpick. And then the next thing you know, it comes back. Because Lars wasn't using it at all. If you go back to any of the pictures between 2022 and 2025, there was no toothpick. I mean, it's the little things, right? So yeah, so I did a facial recognition of that fake Lars with, let me just show you the picture that I used. I used this picture here. This is real Lars right here in the blackened hat with the skullet, right? And so I used this picture and then I did a facial recognition. I used 4 different kinds of facial recognition software. And I, you know, because I kept wanting, as I said to everybody, prove me wrong. So here's her facial recognition, not a match. And as you see, we had the pictures of Vegas James, and they're a match. So, you know, and I've used this software for myself as well, 2 different pictures, and they come up. I did Jessica as well. Let me just get up here. Another scene here.
Jessica.
Yeah, well, whatever. Messica. Her name is Messica, hot Messica. Well, she was like a total, she was with dating Darren Malakian from System of a Down first, but apparently from what Jerry Cantrell told me, she's a raging cocaine addict, or was a raging cocaine addict. Okay, so this is fake. This is the fake one. Okay, so this is fake Jessica Miller. This is at the Tribeca Film Festival again. And this here is new scene. I'll just put in the new scene down here. I'll put these all in and I'll just keep adding the scenes back and forth. Is that it? That's all I get. Just okay. I'll take down Vegas James then. Why are you doing that to me? It's making music now. Okay, so wait a minute. This is the real Jessica Miller again. Okay, this is the real Jessica Miller. Okay, so you see, like this is the fake one. Can I get her up again? Let's see, first show, gotta fucking get all this out. Okay, so that's the real Jessica Miller, and so I did another cross examination, facial recognition. Where is it? Here it is, and we do not get a match, even though the angle is exactly the same. So, and that's a picture from her from 2022, and the other one is of her in 2025. So again, we're looking at 2 different people. And the other thing is too, is that when you look at these pictures as well, Jessica and Lars have become nice people in the media, whereas they were fucking assholes before. So, I mean, everything's changed. Like, Lars isn't hogging the camera. Lars isn't hogging the mic. Lars is not doing any of that stuff. All he's doing is just, he's like, I mean, and as I said, he was not invited to Ozzy's funeral. He was not invited to Jerry Cantrell, who he claims is his best friend. He wasn't invited to his 60th birthday party. He was nowhere to be found. Robert Trujillo and his wife were there, but not Lars. Now, Lars wouldn't be too busy to be his best friend. Lars used to go to the opening of an envelope. So he would definitely be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's fake Lars. Here's fake Lars and Lars with the skullet. Again, not a match. I've got another one too. Hold on, I know I've got another one. Well, it is. There's no other. Somebody else named it that, not me, right? So it's not me. It's like for me, it's like I'm just going by what the kids are saying. You know, I'm an old lady, so it's, you know. So anyway, so then let me see if I've got another picture here. Yeah. So there's another one of Lars. Yeah, okay, and this is okay. Yeah, like I showed you that one. Shows that. Okay. This is the real Jessica again. Okay, so and again, I took that and I added. This is a bit tedious, but anyway, I added. I did that. I did the cross examination of the face again with that picture, and again, I come up without a match. I mean, it's just like not every I mean, like I said, I did the one of James, which I'll show you again. I did Vegas James and normal James, and they came up as a match, and they look nothing alike. And so it's like the media works, the facial recognition works. It's just these are not the same people. And I mean, we'll go down this. See, here's James, here's Vegas James and normal James. Here they are. And as you see, it's a match. Whereas I wouldn't put either. Like James has new dentures. He had all his veneers removed, and he now has implant plates where they're drilled in. He's got them drilled into the back of his mouth, and they're kind of clipped in to his mouth, so they don't fall out. They're not like they're dentures, but they're not dentures. They're like implants. So he basically this is Vegas James, and that's normal James. And they match, even though they look nothing alike. But I can't get a match with Lars. Like, and I keep saying to people, just send me a picture of Lars this tour from since 2022 December of him without his hat on. Prove me wrong. And no one has been able to. I've had people go and actually look at the pictures from their concerts and say to me, come back to me and say, yeah, you're right. You know, I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, I fucking told you. So it's really interesting. Now, let me see who else I've got here. I didn't bother doing drag queen. See now, and here's another thing. I was doing this too. The two wives, the huge difference between the two wives. Like there's James, Mr. Nice and Normal, happy married guy. And then he's Vegas James, the whiskey drinking, you know, like attention whore. Like who goes to the airport dressed like a cowboy? Like if you don't want people to know, you know what I mean? Like he's in Greece. You know, there are no Greek cowboys.
They wanted him to wear it. Who knows?
Well, it's as far as I'm concerned, it was an act for attention. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just what I see out of all this. Now, just to prove that I have a little bit of background with it, this is me and James in 2000. There we are. I lied. I said I had been at 50 shows, and I made the new president of the Metallica fan club give me a backstage pass so I could meet James again. So I was a jerk back then. Lars knew I was lying, and he was so mad he wouldn't come out for the meet and greet that day. This right here, this woman, Patty Blackwell, gave me a copy of this picture. This very night I was at this show. This is the night that I told you I met Miles and Skylar. This is at the Fillmore 2011 for the anniversary party. That was my idea that Lars stole. Lars came out. This guy here, his name is John Stevens. He actually met up with me, and I was with another guy named Neil Morgan, and they were all stalking me. And Petra Goldberg or Patty Blackwell, her name is, she gave me this picture, and she also gave me a picture of Neil Morgan. So I believe it was a setup to like trigger me, because like, why would she have a picture of this guy? You know, him and his fiance were stalking me at the event. Like they were trying to be our friends, right? Me and Neil, like, because I went with Neil, and because I was stupid back then. I didn't even know, like, I didn't think, you know, I didn't think that people fucking stalked you. You know, I like it didn't dawn
I
on
didn't
me.
think it was like going to
Pardon?
happen. First, I probably thought like, nah, I'm just losing my mind, right? It seems like it, but nah, I'm just thinking you're basically doubting yourself, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Here, this is the girl. This is what happened. Was this is Patty Blackwell right here, Petra Goldberg. That's her Instagram page. She has an unhealthy amount of material on James Hetfield. Like she had, like what happened was this is where we'll get started into a little bit about Evelyn Shiflett. When James Hetfield found out that Lars had stolen the idea for the anniversary party from me in 2012, he started stalking me. He called my mom. My mom got involved. Elon Musk gave her a facelift, which we can get into on another show. And well, we have to do that on another show, or we'll be here all night again. We'll be here like we were all last night. But anyway, so James was getting my friends involved. He was contacting people he didn't know because he didn't want to pay me. And you know, because all I asked when I gave Lars the idea in 2004, I gave him a bunch of ideas. I didn't know Lars was already stalking me. Lars started stalking me in 1998 when I went to an after party with him and Nicholas Swanland, who was Met on Tour, who is he's gone now, but he was the original Met on Tour. He's a Swedish guy. And they told me we were going to Features. Now, Features in Toronto is a bakery. It's an all-night bakery where you go after the club for a piece of cake. I thought that's where we were going. We ended up in Etobicoke at a strip joint.
Oh,
and when I got in the limousine to go, right? Like when I first when Lars was signing my autographs, he was really fucking rude to me, right?
Oh,
like I said to him, "Can you sign this for me, Mr. Ulrich?" And he's like, "That's my name." And yeah, like just, you know, anyway, you know, like apparently it's a thing with guys where they treat you shitty and then they treat you nice, and it's like that cruel to be kind thing. But anyways, so we ended up with
a split personality thing.
Well, cocaine, right? That was the thing with Lars, was that Lars, unlike Dave Mustaine, who Jeff Young has told the story that Dave used to get his crew to bring his drugs across borders for him. Yeah, right. Well, you know, I mean, he wasn't going to get caught. And so we would have a roadie do it. And I don't know how he was rewarded or whatever. But anyway, Jeff Young has admitted to this. Jeff Young did it live on his podcast. Geez, when I was doing the book, I was doing a Megadeth book in 2006 until 2005 to 2007. That's when Dave stole the contents of it. Or at least I dropped them off at the town ballroom in Buffalo to Cindy, his tour manager. And then the next thing I knew, he was writing a book. So anyway, he where am I going? Okay, so I get in the limousine with it's June of 1998. We're on the Poor Retouring Me tour. Metallica's like, James has got a beer gut. His daughter's just been born. He looks awful, but it didn't matter. I was levitating. I was like, oh my God, it's James. Oh yeah, well, I was thrilled, right? Anyways, but it was so funny. I was okay. I was so high on ketamine. Like it was like, anyway, and I lied to get those backstage passes too, which was great. It's great being a girl sometimes, or it was back then, being young and lovely. Anyway, so I got in the limousine and Lars had his arm around another girl. Now, I was part of the fan club, which wasn't normal for them to party with fan club members. And so and I don't think he realized I was part of the fan club, like, because it was just like I had just joined in 97. So this was like the first tour. Anyway, so this girl, she was totally different. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of Skylar. Have you ever seen a picture of Skylar?
I'm sure I've seen her. I just can't remember what she
Skylar is like a goddess. She is like 5'11", redhead. She's a plastic surgeon. Like she was engaged to Matt Damon when she met Lars, and Lars met her in a bar, and he walked up to her and he said, "I'm a rock star and I want to buy you a drink." And the one thing he did that made her really be attracted to him is he offered to pay for her medical school. So that's one of the reasons why she went with him. Because, you know, at that point, Matt Damon was broke.
Oh,
Yeah, well, he was still in school. Him and Ben and Kevin Smith were all like fucking sharing a dorm room, writing Goodwill Hunting. You know, it wasn't his time yet. I'm
right.
probably lucky for Matt because he's been with the same woman now. And she was a waitress, right? So I mean, like, you know, and he just met her somewhere, and like they have like 4 girls or something. You know, so he's a nice, happy life. Whereas Lars was just a hot fucking smoking mess. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but here. So basically, with Lars, what he would do was instead of bringing drugs with him, he would have somebody meet him there with cocaine wherever he went. He would have somebody meet him there. So that was how he got his drugs. And so this was his drug buddy for the night, which this girl he had his arm around. And I don't do cocaine. I only did ketamine back then and ecstasy. But he had his arm around her. There was another guy in the car. I think his name was Bob. Anyway, in the limousine, and we end up at this strip joint, and we end up going up the back area to the VIP lounge. And Lars brought his own wine, and he was trying to impress me in the car, but I couldn't even make eye contact with him because I was so disturbed by the fact that I knew, because I was a Flan Club member, I knew that his wife was due like any time. So how could he do this to her? You know, I was 29. I hadn't had any exposure to rock and roll in the deviant way. You know, I always had the motto that the show was out front. And so the only person I ever wanted to meet was James. And the other person I met was Bono. You know, I've met a couple of musicians and stuff like that, but it was never like I needed to meet these people. So when I met, like Lars, it was more like I was grateful to Nicholas. And when he asked me to stay and hang out, I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Right. So anyways, we get to this place, to the strip joint, and they want to go to the lounge. Right. And these guys are like running back going, hey man, I just told the strippers it's my birthday and she gave me a free dance. You know, I'm like, great, good for you.
Woohoo.
Yeah, well, whatever, you know, whatever, major Walmart shopper. And I was just, just kind of going along with it. And so then while that was happening, I wouldn't sit with Lars. I couldn't sit with Lars. I just couldn't. I couldn't make eye contact with him. When we were in the limousine, he asked me what the rock radio station was in town. I said, I didn't know. Yeah, right. You know, I mean, because I just couldn't. I didn't feel right about what was happening. And the next thing I know, Lars is leaving with this woman and leaving us there. So luckily there were some German fan club members who were running the booth, and we all went back to my place and they took a nap, and then they went off to Cleveland. So then I started getting these messages from Nicholas saying, I miss you and I want to see you. And, and I was stupid, right? I was like, oh, he likes me. When really what it was Lars was trying to set me up. So the next time they came to town, which was November 1998, which was the Garage Inc. tour. And that Garage Inc. tour had small venue shows to start with. And the first show they did was in Toronto at the Warehouse. And Nicholas said, if you pick me up at the airport, I will give you tickets. So I took a limousine. I didn't have a car. So I said, but I'd pick you up anyway, right? So I took a limousine down. It's not that expensive. It was like $100 or whatever to go both ways. And so I picked him up, and he had just come from Hawaii, and all he did was bitch and complain the whole time. We get to his hotel. He sits in the bathtub on the phone with Steve Wigg, who is Lars's personal assistant, for 2.5 hours while I'm sitting there waiting. And he tells me he doesn't have any Canadian cash, so he can't afford to buy anything for dinner. So I end up buying dinner. It's like he's just using me, right, the whole time. And then at the end of the night, I go, okay, well, I'm going to go home. And so I went home, and he kind of slammed the door on me. But before I said to him, well, what about the tickets for tomorrow? And he said, well, I don't know if I'm going to get them. I'm not sure. So the idea was to fuck me over and make me not want to see Metallica ever again.
Okay.
And instead what I did, because I'm a total bitch, is I contacted the record company and told them what had happened, and told them that this guy had basically sweetheart scammed me, which is what they'd call it now. Right. And I said, he said he was going to give me tickets. I spent all this money, blah, blah, blah. And so they said, well, the best person to do is we're going to give you the fan club phone number in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I spoke to a woman named Beth. Beth got a hold of Nicholas and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And at that point, that's when Nicholas, I was in the shower and my friend was there, Leanne, who actually got involved in the stalking. She's the one from out in BC that framed me, which is for another podcast. But
we got so many to come up to.
I know it's just going to be so much fun just running through this whole shit. But at least it'll be out there. It'll be record, right? The idea is to put this shit out there because people think I'm full of shit. People think I'm lying. And it's like, it's going to be out there. So if anything ever happens to me, because I would never hurt myself. That's one thing I want to make very clear to everybody. I would never hurt myself. I would never do anything to hurt anybody else. So if something happens to me, it's been done intentionally by someone else. And so that's real. It needs to be made really clear because as we get deeper into the story over the weeks with the MK Ultra stuff, as it comes up, you'll see like there were 7 attempts made on my life between Lars and his special friend, which we'll keep secret for now, who you know. his initials are backwards ME, me. So, oh, my thing fell out. Hold on. So anyways, so Nicholas got in like a massive pile of shit and he calls me and he says, "What are you doing calling fan club?" And I said, "Well, you're not going to fuck me over for tickets. I've paid, I fucking paid for everything last night. Like, no, this isn't going to happen." Right. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, then so I get there and he's got CPI passes for me because he wasn't going to give me tickets. He was actually going to like fuck me over. And it was the worst concert, one of the worst concerts I've ever seen in my life. We get there. Kirk has had his appendix removed. Okay. Oh. On top of, but 13 days earlier. Now, the recovery time for the removal of an appendix and the recovery time is 6 weeks. So to put him back out on the road was very typical of Lars. They could never miss a show, like never miss a show. He missed a show in 2004 when he was stalking me because he had a panic attack on an airplane going to download. And that ended up being the best show they ever did because they had Joey Jordison fucking played drums. Dave Lombardo played drums. Like everybody played. Like, and except for Lars, it was fucking awesome, right? Good. Yeah, I would have fucking loved to have been there.
If it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounded great. Lombardo, man. Joey Jordison, of course, it was fucking amazing, right? But yeah, I mean, and then there was the only other time was in 2000, James, and that's when he started getting addicted to the perks and stuff like that. Was he was jet skiing and he threw his back out and he had to have emergency back surgery. So they missed a show and they had like Jonathan Davies of Korn fucking singing and like, which would have been another great show. But the one I saw was the Garage Inc. And so they didn't play any Metallica songs. They only played covers. And and James was fucking wasted. Jason was wasted.
Because you'd have to be wasted to sit there and listen to all that.
Well, I was on ease, so it did. I was like, I just thought it was awful, right? And Lars has always denied that he's never gone on stage drunk. I believe that because if he was drunk, he'd never be able to play. He barely play now, let alone drunk. So, like he used to drink gin and orange juice before going on stage every night. Like there'd be a gin and orange juice. I know because his in Buffalo one time, one of the stalkers was pushing me and shoving me, and Steve Wigg gave me Lars's drink, and I handed it to her and said, "Now fuck off," and she did. So anyway, it was gin and orange juice. So he would have a drink before, but Lars was never drunk. But Kirk, so here's Kirk sitting in a fucking chair, wah wah wah. And we got
that's all he does is wah wah.
Yeah, wah 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 wah. It's like fucking watching a Snoopy cartoon. Wah wah.
Yeah, the T-shirt.
Wah wah wah. Yeah, exactly. And so but James and Jason are fucking wasted. And James is at a point where he has got such a hate on for Jason, and you can just feel it in just the way they are talking to each other, the way they're around each other. Like, and Jason always put a stiff upper lip on. He always did. But like the amount of abuse that guy went through because of James is disgusting. And this was one of those nights. And the one thing I remember exactly, first of all, the crowd was like really like dark. It was a weird crowd. And they didn't play any Metallica songs. And then they finally played Bread Fan. So it was like, okay, everybody knows Bread Fan, right? So we knew there were a couple of songs, like they played Stone Cold Crazy. So there was a couple of songs, but the rest of it was stuff off the A side of Garage Inc., which was the new double album that was coming out. And the reason why they brought it out was because including they've just let out the 40th anniversary of Reload. What I was told, and it's some kind of cold sore, aka some kind of monster. When they're talking, if you watch it, they admit that if it wasn't for Bob Rock, neither of those albums would have come out, because Bob Rock was the only one to put them together because they couldn't get the band in the same room. That's how, after the Black Album, they could not fucking stand each other. So Bob Rock was the one that did. well, that tour went almost on as long as this one has.
Well, I'm surprised they're still together at all. They should have been broken
money, money. That's all it's about. I mean, that's all. I mean,
you need.
Well, at this point, this tour, this with Metallica Vanilli tour, the one with the fake Lars, which started. See, the fake Lars appeared December 2022 at the All Within My Hands concert, and then they weren't seen again until April of 2023. So fake Lars had 4 months to learn drums, which is about all you need to learn Lars drums. So, and they also are using pre-recorded drum tracks as well as pre-recorded backing vocals, because Kirk and Robert can't sing backing vocals. They just can't. No matter, Robert says he's taken vocal lessons, but no, you can't. You can tell me as much as you want. It doesn't sound like that. What's that?
I've heard him sing.
Yeah, it's not. It's Cookie Monster.
Yeah, I heard him try to sing "When Doves Cry" by Prince.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh, you mean those times? You mean those times where Lars and James have to go backstage and use oxygen tanks because they're fucking dying?
Is that
and
why?
So Kirk and Robert are out front playing whatever. Yeah, and it's just I haven't been.
I think it was called Kirk and James Doodles or something.
Yeah, the Doodles. Yeah, those Doodles. They started those Doodles in 2004. That was sort of the last tour that I saw, except for the anniversary shows, because that was when Lars ripped me off, right? I gave him the ideas in Edmonton in 2004, March. And I saw them in Edmonton and Calgary. I saw them 13 times on that tour. I want my money back. Whatever. I was a metallaholic, and I had ideas, and I was hoping the more that I was seen, the more they would know I was serious, right? But Lars always kept bringing up, oh, she's full of shit. She's a poser. She's a this. She's a that. Like, I was always a poser. And that's, at least I'm not dead.
Well,
sorry.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
What was that about him always chasing after Lemmy Kilmister?
Yeah. Well, he would follow Lemmy everywhere, and Lemmy finally turned around and asked him, "What the fuck do you want?" And that's how the Motorhead fan club started. Yeah. So I mean, and I had a conversation with Lemmy, and Lemmy said that Lars should have stayed in management. And I said, I agree. I said, they should have allowed for a real drummer. My wish list was for Lars to retire and Chris Adler from Lamb of God, who had left the band, to replace him. That would have been fucking some serious music.
We got to replace Kirk too.
Well, yeah, but if you replace Kirk, then we don't have our token drag queen. So the LGBTQ people will be furious. Furious.
Yeah, basically we gotta have one of those in there.
But Kirk's gone from. Well, I mean, his voice has never changed. I mean, if you
was 5 years old.
Yeah, well, he sounds like he's about 11. I'd say about 11. And it's just like his voice has never changed, and it's just like his wife. This is his fiance Monica now. This is his third wife. He had one, her name was Rebecca. And that was during the, I think he married her just before they went in to record the Black Album. And during the Black Album, 3 members, Jason, Lars, and Kirk, all got divorced, which is why it's such an intense album. There's a lot of divorce happening.
I stand playing it.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, the album took a year and a half to record. Right. Like, I mean, yeah. So it wasn't like, I mean, some bands can go in like Clutch. They can go in and they can get the whole album done in a day and a half, 2 days, but spending a year and a half in the studio, that's just, to me, that's just, you're wasting record company money, right? You're doing it to fuck around. You don't want to go home. That's why you're doing it. And I mean, Bob Rock could have got them through a lot faster, but like, apparently it was like pulling chicken's teeth. They didn't want to do what he wanted to do. And then they finally did. Like, Lars was just following along. But I mean, he did get one good solo out of Kirk. There's like maybe like Unforgiven. I really like that solo. That's a good solo. Struggle Within has a decent solo. But, then all of a sudden he found the wah pedal, and that was the end of it. It's just nothing he does isn't without wah now. And it's just It's so disappointing. I just want to go wah.
Why the hell? I forget that one concert. Oh my god!
Yeah, like, I mean, he just seems like, well, I mean, on Some Kind of Cold Sore, Bob Rock is actually playing bass, which a lot of people don't know. He plays bass on that album, and Kirk doesn't put on one solo. There isn't one solo on there because it was during the new metal time when people weren't doing solos. So Kirk said, "No, we don't need any solos." When really what it was he was out surfing with Robert, and he didn't want to stay in the studio while James tried to figure out how to write music at not drunk. Right? It's true. It's true. Like, I mean, it's like there's a lot of musicians that it's like the songwriting was better when they were drug addicts. It's not a lie. I mean, this is all honest stuff. But James was a better songwriter when he was an alcoholic. Now, I don't know what the excuse is now. I mean, 27 Seasons is a piece of garbage. I mean, everything it's a piece of garbage. I mean, and stupid enough, and this is where we'll get into Evelyn Shiflett, is in Immorta, and the kids don't even realize this. Like, when Fran came forward, Francesca Hetfield, as we've seen, James' first wife. Let's see if we've got the wife picture again. Put the wives up again.
You guys see the wife again.
See the wives again. Now, he was with Fran. He met Fran in 1993 or 2. She was working as a wardrobe mistress at their Colorado show, because that's where she's from. Her family is originally from Argentina, and she was working as a wardrobe mistress. And James almost accidentally spit on her. Did I lose the Metallica wife picture?
Is that basically an Argentina thing?
I think with James, it's he dates by proximity. So if you're close enough to, he's a lazy Leo, right? So if you're close enough to him, then and so anyway, Fran was they were more friends, I think, than anything anyway. But she gave him 3 beautiful kids, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to have a cave of animals, and they tried. Here's the wives. And they tried, but he couldn't stay sober. And she's a Christian, and she's got her shit together, like, as far as that. But she also his punishment was always, if he was away or whatever, she loved to spend his money. She's Argentinian. They like nicer things. And anyway, so she basically when James started stalking me in 2012 when he found out about the anniversary show and started following me around. In 2018, he came, first of all, 2017, Lars and Jessica showed up at the Airbnb next door to my house. Now, I lived in a very rural area of northwestern Ontario called Wyerton. Actually, the small little town that I lived in was called Kemble, which had the population of like 5 and a cow. And I don't even think there was a cow. So, basically, when James met Fran, and then he in 2019 he purchased land in the area where I was living, and that's when he moved in this woman that claimed to be my best friend, which was actually Lars had hired her in 2009. I hired her originally at a website creation of a TV show called Curves Ahead, which is going to be redone. I'm actually having it recopyrighted. And I needed some website work done. So I hired her. She was $35 an hour. And I'll just show you a picture of what Evelyn did look like. And when the work was over, it was like, well, thank you very much for your work. She told me she got cancer. And I felt bad for her because, like, who doesn't feel bad for somebody? She told me she had
cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, she told me she had breast cancer. This is what she looked like. Okay. Like, she was a piece of work. But they did over $300,000 worth of cosmetic surgery on her to look like me. And so when I was asked later on, which we'll get into in another show, they asked me, do you have a picture of Evelyn? And I said, yeah, sure. Here's a picture of Evelyn. They said, that's not her. And I said, yeah, I don't know, that's her. And they said, no, that's not her. And they showed me a picture of what she looked like. And she looked like Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing after she had her nose done. So she'd had a lot. And I was actually told the amount of work she had done. She had a lap band done on her, or like gastric sleeve,
right?
Lipo, Brazilian butt lift, cheek implants, chin implant, full facelift, rhinoplasty. Obviously, she's going to try and have my nose, and full facelift and Botox and fillers.
So they cut her head off and give her a new head.
Yeah, well, this was the thing. Like, I mean, she basically mutilated her entire body. She took photographs in with me. Any plastic surgeon, like, I know women go in and they bring pictures of movie stars and say, I want to look like this. But bringing in a picture of a complete stranger and saying, I want to look like this, doesn't that fucking set a red flag off? Like, anywhere with anyone?
Yeah, you kind of wonder why this person. No, it's not like they're a famous person. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not a famous person, I want to look like Kim Kardashian or whatever, right? Like, I get that. But
I want to be
like,
Pam Anderson, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, so, you always ask yourself, like, why didn't that raise a red flag with, like, I mean, okay, here, she was showing a naked picture of her. Okay, so these are pictures that Evelyn was posting online.
I have to see this girl naked. Oh, my gosh.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, you showed this.
Yeah, so this is my old property. This is the property that Callie Hetfield and committed grand larceny on in 2023. So anyway, little cunt.
Yeah, poor property will never be the same.
Yeah, anyway, yeah. But what they did was, when they found out, when Dave Grohl and Jerry and them found out what she looked like, I hooked them onto this page where she's got all these photographs, because she was posting on this site called FetLife, and she basically was saying she was like this sex therapist sort of thing, where literally nobody would have sex with her. She was so ugly, right? Like, she was like she was with the same guy for 22 years. She's from a place called Grand Prairie, Alberta. And she's not everybody's cup of tea, if we put it that way, right? And so,
but she's drinking more than just tea.
Like, her husband was an alcoholic, and I mean, that was one of the reasons why I stopped talking to her too, was because she said she had cancer. However, every time I'd see her, she'd get fucking wasted. And she was telling me about having bareback sex with all these guys that she didn't even know that she was meeting off this website. And then finally in 2018, when I got framed out in BC, which is another episode, she basically said to me she was getting money from a long lost uncle. And I said, how much? She said $250,000. And I thought, bullshit. You're Alberta white trash. Nothing about you says $250,000. Nobody in your family has $250,000. Not a chance. You know what I mean? Like, not a chance. Like, your mom, you don't know your father, and your mom is living out of a motel that she cleans so she can live there. And you're telling me that somebody has $250,000, they're just going to leave you, not help their sister? Right? So I'm not buying what you're selling. And that was at that point I said, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. And at that point, if you go onto Facebook, and everybody can go on, her name is Evelyn Shiflet, EVELYNSHIFFLET, and you'll find her page. It's a memorial page, but you can also go to her profile, which is attached to it, and you'll see the actual pictures of her. She faked her death before she had the cosmetic surgery done. And during that time, that was when Elon and Lars came up with the idea that James should move into the area. because that's for another day as to why he needed to move into the area. But James moved up there. He bought a 100-acre farm, and he planted it. And they went and got Evelyn. And of course, apparently she was cute looking, right? Like, I mean, well, she was banging everybody. I mean, she was fooling around with Angelina Jolie. She fooled around with Chad Kroeger. She fooled around with Pepper Keenan. I mean, she was just like, she was a predator. In one summer, she like went after like 5 people. So anyway, and then, I mean, you know how these guys are. It's like, if it has a wormhole, you know, there's a comedian named Isla Scherzer, and she put it perfectly. She said, men would fuck a glove full of warm pudding. You know, and she said, and all the men in the audience all of a sudden were like, warm it up. I never even thought about warming it up. Yeah. Isla Scherzer, very funny lady. But yeah, when I was in Bermuda, I had a friend who was a doctor who was Irish, and he used to drink like, there's no way he could have got a boner. Like, we were friends, just so drunk, that drunk, you know, there's a song by a band called Too Drunk to Fuck. This was his song. And you know, anyway, so he said to me once, a hole is a hole is a hole. So that's the way I sort of, because when they first told me that Evelyn was banging all these people, I thought, oh my God, is everybody into bush pigs? Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just kind of looked in the mirror and said, like, you know, I just thought, how drunk were you? Right. Like, you know, and then when they told me she had all the surgery, they actually used the girl Raquel that was on. Do you ever watch any of those reality shows? Vanderpump Rules.
Which one?
Vanderpump Rules.
I mean, I heard of that. I don't.
Okay. Well, so there was a girl on that show. They did. That's another story, but the girl on there, they tried to make her kind of look like her, like it was sort of the same thing. Anyway, but Evelyn just like lied about everything. She told them that I was her best friend, and I had confided in her that I was a transgender man.
Oh, okay.
So by the time they were done, Lars had been going around trying to frame me, saying that I was a pedophile, a lesbian pedophile. And then Evelyn was going around saying I was transgender. So I was a transgender lesbian pedophile addicted to methamphetamines. So this is, you know, and James is so stupid, he believes this stuff. Instead of coming to me and saying, hey man, you know, like, you know, what's going on here? Instead, he gets my old friends from high school to contact me and start stalking me and giving him information. Instead of coming to me and saying, hey man, like, so this is what I'm being told, like, and what do you think I'm going to, you know, I mean, I can't, you know, thank God for Woody Weatherman and his family. Woody Weatherman is a Corrosion of Conformity. Corrosion of Conformity is out on tour right now. Anybody who wants to go see them. They are one of the best bands in the world. They're my favorite band. They were touring with Clutch, but they're not anymore. Now they're touring with, I think they're called Old Moonshine and Horrors. Anyway, they're doing the headlining. Anyway, great.
Did you say the
first? Yeah, one of the bands is named Old Moonshine, and the other one's named Whores. You know, we're running out of new names. Is what I think is what's happening.
I think people are just kind of like pulling names out of hats.
Exactly, I think so. Well, it's like, Mr. Beast is a perfect example of that. Is that he got his name from a name generator to play video games. That's how he got Mr. Beast. So, but anyway, what happened with Corrosion of Conformity was in 2012, they came as a 3-piece. They came with Mike Dean, Woodrow Weatherman, and Reed Mullen. You know, I don't believe Reed's dead. So, and there's a lot of people I don't believe is dead. And Reed Mullen is one of them because he died like the day before his birthday. And right around that time, what they were doing was they were giving out like I was trying to write a book on COC, doing a scrapbook for them. And see, Lars was going around saying, I had given Lars a non-disclosure agreement in 2004. And he told people that I was under a work contract with him. And so every single bit of my intellectual property was his. So he told COC, she's writing a book. The book's mine. You owe me the money because she works for me. So then they were buying that shit. And he also told them that I reached in his wallet and stole $1,500. The only time I ever was even remotely near Lars was at this strip joint, and he was wearing spandex pants. He did not have a wallet with him. You know,
Well, you
I mean,
wouldn't have seen it if he
his
had
cocaine
one.
friend. Well, yeah, well, like, you couldn't see anything else because he didn't have a wiener, micro weenie.
He doesn't have much of an ass either.
No, exactly. Like, I mean, that's the thing. He's like a mouse, right? Like, he's just this little tiny piece of scum. But and I mean, and just after he did that to his wife, I was so horrified by the whole experience. I wanted to go home, but we were in Etobicoke, which was like half an hour away from my house. I didn't have cab fare on me. I was like, fuck, I need to get out of here. So I sat at the bar the whole night. Anyway, so so what happened was in 2012, I was corresponding with Woody on Facebook. Hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. I totally love to meet you guys. You guys are my favorite band. Da, da, da. I'm so grateful you guys are back together. Even though it was a 3-piece, it was more of the punk rock stuff. They did like No Deliverance but none of the Pepper stuff. Like Pepper's my favorite. Like I love his songwriting and his singing and stuff. Congratulations, Pepper and Jenny. I didn't know you guys got married until a couple weeks ago, and I'm very excited for you. Yay! So, but anyway, Pepper basically read when they get one. Woody said to me, "Come early," and I brought him like he drinks like different kinds of beer. So I brought him like every kind of IPA and things like that. That like because Canada's famous for all the different breweries and shit, right? And so I brought him like 666 beer and some, all these crazy beers. And I brought them to him, and he's a real stoic guy, quiet, but perfect gentleman. He's like one of my favorite people in the whole world. I also was corresponding with his mom, Karen, on Facebook, she's a delight, and another woman named Rose Higgins, who was one of Karen's friends. And so we made plans for me to come down to Raleigh, which is where Corrosion to Conformity was created. And I did. And she walked me through everything. So I decided to do this scrapbook because she's like the matriarch of COC. She's got all the stuff. She kept everything. The basement is exactly the same as when they used it as a jam room. It's just amazing. Like, and their house is they're just like the best people in the world. And his sister Allison was there too. Now, Lars told Reed and Woody that I had stolen money from him, and that I was a pedophile. And that I was a pedophile. So first, trans woman. Yeah, I'm a transgender man, lesbian, pedophile. But the transgender part came in 2019 when Evelyn, the newfound Frankenstein, appeared. That's when that started. And James started calling me Jake. My last name is Jacobson. So he started calling me Jake. Oh yeah, no, he's so stupid. It's like, have another fucking drink, James. Anyway, yeah, and this is the thing, folks.
How did he start writing songs when he's like this dumb?
It's just so dumb. Why did he not do a background search? There's not one photograph of me with her. All they had to do was run her license, driver's license, and they would have seen the picture of her and gone, holy fuck, this isn't the same person. But they didn't, right? And I said, if you got drunk enough and you squinted your eyes, could she have been me? It's like, well, yeah, maybe. It's like, exactly. That's what they were trying to do, right? So anyway, but I mean, just the fact that he was stupid enough to think that I was a transgender, like it just, anyway, and this is nothing, no offense. There are transgender people out there. I know you're out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that also put on a dress one morning and decided to be a woman and just want to be pervs running in girls' bathrooms too. It's a slippery slope. But, the thing was that nobody came to me. So the only person who came to me was Reed Mullen. And Reed Mullen said to me in an offhand kind of way, said, have you ever stolen anything, Marianne? And I looked at him and I said, yeah, just hearts. Right. He's like, oh, right. Anyway, but Woody and Mike Dean wouldn't see me that night. Like I ended up seeing Mike later on. They were touring with Guar then. They were still a 3-piece. And but Reed came out to see me. But the first time when I was down there, I told them all about how Lars had ripped me off in 2004. Now, Woody went, I mean, this is a grapevine. So Woody went to Pepper. Pepper is football friends with James, and they confronted him. And that's when he told them, oh, well, we were out one night with her and she stole $1,500 out of my wallet. And now I have to admit it, when they brought in the new president in 2000, that picture I showed you of me and James, when I lied to get backstage, I also lied to her and said, oh, yeah, I didn't get a hockey shirt. They didn't deliver it to me, just because I had no respect for the women, because back then it was a little childish, 2000, I'm still a kid. I'm like 29, 30. I
didn't grow up yet.
Oh, fuck no. Arrested Development I had been raving, so I had Arrested Development massively. Anyway, but I said to her, oh, well, yeah. So I was scamming them basically for, some merch, $75 shirt, $75 hockey shirt, right? And Lars knew I was lying. Like when the meet and greet came, this was the second time I'd met Jason, and Jason was so nice. The first time I met him in 98. He was so grumbly, like he was, because James was being a fucking asshole to him, right? But this time he was so friendly, and my whole vibe, like women's intuition or something, was like, Jason's leaving the band. And within like 6 months, he was gone. So it was like he was being nice to everybody, because it was like he's done, right? Yeah, so he was just saying his last hurrah to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so when Reed asked me that, I was like, oh, okay, I think somebody's been talking to Lars. But I never wanted to say all I did, but I told them, he stole from me, blah, 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 blah. And then was it? Yeah. So then in 2014, 2014, Down came to town. Are you familiar with Down?
I know the band, yeah.
Okay, so Philip Anselmo, Kirk Winsenstein, Rex Brown, who else? Jimmy Bauer. It's a stoner rock. Like I can't understand a fucking word they say the entire time, but everybody's smoking weed, so it was great, right? It's like, yeah, right. It's I believe it's the Canadian pastime. I believe it's our God-given right was to smoke weed even back then. And actually that night, Pat Brunders, who was playing bass instead of Kirk Winsenstein, when I was sitting out in front of the venue, I don't know why, I was so drunk. And I was singing, I'm a loser, baby, why don't you kill me? And he came off the bus and he gave me like this quarter of weed that he had left over. He's like, here, man, I can't take this across the border. You take it. I was like, right on, man. So anyway, I don't know how I made it back to the Airbnb where we were staying. My friend had disappeared. And I woke up with a McDonald's cheeseburger in my back pocket. So it was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. You're covered when you got the cheeseburger.
We went at the very beginning of the show, they had a VIP sound check, right? So me and my friend, James had hired, and the reason why I know him, his name's Rob McCullough, and James was paying for everything because this Airbnb was really expensive. It was like in a condo downtown Toronto. Like Rob worked in a factory. There was no way he could afford this thing. And he was like, oh, it's on me. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, what? And then we got the tickets and they were like, we got VIP passes and stuff. Scott's like, it's on me. I'm like, what? Like, anyway, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say no. But I took it. But so anyway, then we went to the sound check. And when we were at the sound check, I had talked to Karen Weatherman during the day. And I said, Karen Weatherman says, hi, Pepper. And Pepper that broke the ice with him because I wanted to talk to him. He was one of the I wanted to meet people. Right. So when they did like a photo shoot where you like stood with everybody, said hi, and then you got your picture taken with them. So I was in between Philip and Pepper. And I said, we're going to do Power of the Riff. Power of the Riff compels me. And I turned to Pepper and I said, why don't you come for a beer after? And as I was walking away, he goes, I have a child. Because I guess Flannery 2009 she was born. So she was about 6 or 7 then. And I said, so? Like, I guess these guys were just used to women wanting to fuck them. Whereas I just wanted to buy him a beer. Right. So he ended up at the Fiona McCool's, which was right next door. It was an Irish pub, and they had like a guy playing guitar, and the guy, he was on the stage singing "Cowboys from Hell." And so I came in, and I walked over to Pepper, and I handed him a Corona, and I said, "Corona's so drunk. Corona's a conformity." Which is because they used to have a T-shirt that said that, right? And he goes, "Yeah, man, that was a long time ago." And I go, "Yeah, but it was fun." And then I left, like, because I didn't know what else to say. And then we just kept giving each other the hairy eyeball all night. And after that, that's when the band reformed. So it wasn't just me wanting them to reform, but, and that's when Reed was still alive. So they came back again and they played the Opera House, and I packed up a big box called it COC and CDA, which is short for Canada, and left it for them. And I got, like, Reed's known, they call him the mule. So I found like a stuffed mule so that he could tie it on the front of his drum kit. And, there was also like, there was a fleece in there there's an interview I did with Pepper. I'll add it to this video with him just before they did the show. And it was funny because Tony Weatherman, Woody's dad, actually sent me a picture of them when they were like, it's like 1992 or something, and they're all skinny. So I go, "So what's different about the band now except you're all fat?" Pepper just flipped. He's just like, "I'm a solid 184, woman." So it just, it was just pretty funny. But after that, I actually went down to Raleigh. And that was when Allison, I was down there meeting with Rose and, that was the second time. The first time I met with Rose and Karen, and we just got along really well. House on Fire was just great. Wonderful time. Then I went down again in 2016. I went down to Louder Than Life in Greensboro with Cricket Hooks, who was another stalker, and his girlfriend, Cindy, who was another stalker. They were supposed to be James and Fran. That's who they were pretending to be. And because it was every one of these people was pretending to be somebody else. Like that's why this whole imposter thing's gone on. But anyways, so when I went down that time, Allison, who's a nurse, had her daughter Amy, who's I think 6 or 7, walk with me to lunch, and she held my hand. So this was them debunking the myth that I was a pedophile. So I have nothing but love for the Weathermans for what they did for me, because Lars had everyone believing that I was a pedophile, which is, well, there was a woman that lived in my area named Michelle Watson, may she rot in hell, and her girlfriend, Penny Stevenson Saunders, and I think she's Watson, they married. Elon Musk moved them down to, I gave up our secret guest. Anyway, he moved them down to Mexico in 2020. And he moved them to a place called La Quintana. Now, Quintana is the name of the man who came up with the name Metallica, Ron Quintana.
Yeah.
So that's why he put them there. Basically, gets into a different thing when we add Elon into the mix. But Elon started stalking me in 1999 when I met him. I opened my big mouth and I said I was a member of the Metallica fan club. And he contacted Lars, and the next thing I knew, I was being gang stalked and attacked, harassed, anything to try and make me kill myself, get arrested, or go psycho. And that was the plan, and it didn't work out. And that's when I was lured up to my mom's in 2014, and she was already involved. Elon had gotten her a facelift. My stepfather had an Alzheimer's attack and was hospitalized from 2010 March until 2013 when he passed away. So he didn't die fast enough for her. One of the things that she did, my crazy bitch mother, Marjorie McCraney, now going by Margie Pezzo, living in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Anyway, so, well, yeah, no, I mean,
with her.
Well, no, this woman put me in a position where, I mean, the animals were murdered. I was MK Ultra'd. I mean, and she's down there hiding, thinking that Elon's still alive. Right. So and she won't be watching this, so I don't care. And I hope she does anyway. But the bottom line is that basically, they basically, what they were trying to do was they were trying to do anything, like they were calling my work, when just before Elon, Lars was calling my work and saying, she's a drug addict and a prostitute. She's a drug addict and prostitute and everything, just to try and get me fired. Like I'm the only person who I've known who's been fired more on their birthday or Christmas, like than anybody I've ever met. And
You've been fired more than anybody you've ever known.
Yeah, I've been fired fucking a million times. Like it just, that's why I started temping. I started temping because I got sick and tired of being fired.
Well, being fired's not hard nowadays. I mean, all you have to do is just go to work and do your job. And then they fire you.
Well, nowadays, yeah. Back then, it was like, I mean, I had a good job at a law firm, and I was a legal secretary, and I did a good job. Yeah, I like to party on the weekends. That's how it goes, right? The party did end up coming to work, though. I did get a little bored at times.
So you actually did something to actually,
but not before Lars called. Like this was, or it was after. It was before Lars called. Like, but
if I was owning a company and you had Lars call, I'd fire you too.
Yeah, exactly, right. But he called. I worked at the Ministry of the Attorney General at the Ipperwash inquiry, which was a very important inquiry that an OPP officer shot an Aboriginal person inside a provincial park who was not armed, and so this was the whole big thing. And this was way after. Like, I mean, I quit doing ketamine in 2000. 2000 was the last time I did it. Like, I mean, so all these people that want to call me a junkie and a stoner or something, like, okay, yeah. Like 30 years or 26 years from then, like, sorry, I'm not buying it anymore. Well, I mean, it's out of my system. I guarantee you.
What is it? What kind of drug is that?
Ketamine is a general anesthetic that they give to animals. And it's also people too. My nose is running only because I have spring allergies. Yeah, basically I was raving, and you do ecstasy, and ecstasy is great. And then you could do a bump of K, and it would take you, like, re-kick the ecstasy back in, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But it was
like going down, brings it back.
It would bring it back up, right? Exactly. Yeah. So, but what I really liked about it was it turned the whole world off because it was an anesthetic. Right. So basically, it's like when you go into the hospital, they use ketamine on us. Right. And so they're using ketamine therapy now for massive depressive disorder. So I obviously I was doing so, but basically what it would do was it would shut everything off, and you were just sort of like in your own bubble. They called it the K-hole. And so I was like, this is amazing. Everybody's shutting up. I don't have to listen to them. This is great. I love this.
It's every man's dream when he first gets married.
It's just my dream, just of all the, I was just, I had so many friends, but I just wanted them all just to shut the fuck up. And, that was one of the things that was great about raving, was because the music was so loud. I mean, you just kind of were in your own little bubble the whole time, right?
Yeah.
But then I would leave there and I would still want to be in that bubble. And that's where I got kind of caught up with ketamine and my little romance with it. But I also believe that it helped me a lot with my childhood trauma. I was able to work through all of that. I think that's also one of the reasons why when they did MK Ultra me, or attempt to, and try and put me through all these psychotic breaks, I'd already sort of dealt with all of that stuff. So there was nothing they could do that, like, as I said, I've seen, you've seen Martyrs. You ever see, do you watch horror movies?
Of course.
Okay. So Martyrs, torture porn horror movie, and A Serbian Tale, another torture porn horror movie. I said, I've seen both of these movies. You can't show me anything that's going to fuck me up more than those two movies. Like, really, they're both, like, Martyrs is just, right?
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
No, I know I've seen horror movies. I don't think I've ever seen Martyrs.
Martyrs is about this woman who they break into this house, and I think they're trying to rescue somebody. Anyway, they end up catching her instead. And basically what they're doing is, the whole logic behind the what the experiment is that they're doing in this house is they're trying to find that moment between life and death. There's like one moment, like it's the Michelangelo painting where the fingers touch between God and man. And, and so they're saying there's that one moment, and they're trying to torture these women. They say women can handle more pain than men. So they were torturing these women as much as they could until they got to this major pain threshold point, and they're about to die. And then they would, anyway, they pick this woman and they start torturing her. They end up skinning her alive.
Oh.
And she's sort of hanging there. And this woman's like, tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. And the girl whispers in her ear, like obviously the answers to the universe, right? Whatever it is and whatever. And the woman goes upstairs and shoots herself in the head. I mean, it's just like total, like the most disturbing film you'll ever see in your life, right? I think it's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Anyway, but I mean, it was so violent. It was one of those ones that kind of stayed with you and you were like, fuck. And then Serbian Tail's even worse. Serbian Tail is this guy. He's a porn star. He's retired. He's offered this one last job where they're doing all these different scenes. And then in the very last scene, he ends up raping his own family. What? Like they're all under blankets, so he can't see what he's doing or who he's having sex with. And then, at the end, they just all of them, they just shoot themselves. Like it's like stuff that stuff you go, whoa, like, first of all, who came up with that idea?
Well, drugs are bad.
Well, I mean, the worst part is that you see these movies and you're like, who
these people are doing some kind of shit.
Yeah, like, somewhere somebody's fucking, that's their, it's an idea. And basically when this guy kills himself and his family at the end of the movie, the movie crew comes in, cleans it all up to start again with someone else. It's just fucked. Like, I mean, you're just like, oh, right? The only thing I've seen that's crazy like that is, you've seen Midsommar, right?
No.
You haven't seen that one yet? It's on Prime. This chick, she goes to Sweden with her boyfriend and a bunch of friends to one of their friends. His family's from this village, and they're having a festival, some sort of a midsummer festival, and it's like completely broad daylight the whole time, right? Like the sun doesn't go down, and basically they just start killing everybody. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. And then
because it was like daylight all the time.
Daylight through the whole film. And when it's daylight,
so they went crazy because there was no sun going down.
Oh yeah, well they were giving them, and they were also giving them magic mushrooms through the whole thing. Like they were all.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but they a blood eagle one of the guys, right? Like blood eagle. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, is that like what the Vikings used to do?
Yeah, the Vikings, but that's what they did. Well, this because they're Swedish, right? These people were Swedish. So yeah, the blood Viking.
Kind of like something they handed.
So they blood eagle one of the guys, and then the boy. You got to see it though. The boyfriend, what he gets at the end. I mean, it's very well done, but at the same time, it's just like you're left going, And then there was another movie right around that time called Hereditary.
I've heard that, but I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, it's
I
another one.
Limit myself on horror movies.
Yeah, I can't even watch them anymore.
I basically I become more selective with horror movies.
Okay.
Because basically a lot of them is just become just so blood and gore and
it's torture porn. That's what they call it.
You know what? I pretty much don't want to get this kind of scared. I want a different kind of scare.
Yeah. Like, I mean, for me, I can't because of the CPTSD now, because of the things I've actually physically seen, and that's for another podcast.
That's another one.
There's going to be but I mean, they were torturing. I had
there's a part to all this, right?
Well, when I was up at my mother's, there were 21 animals when I got there, and she hadn't cleaned up after them, and there was 6 inches of feces and urine all over the floor in the basement. The septic tank guy refused to come in the house because of the smell. The septic tank guy. That's how bad the smell was, and she was acting like she was oblivious to it. Right. But this was all these guys wanting me to clean it up. Lars and me. Right. Backwards our special story that for the next one. But they had it. So I was up there trying to clean this place up. And it was just like, anyway, while I was up there, the locals, as I said, they got involved. I'll add an attachment of all the medical equipment that they got. They got $60 million worth of medical equipment over 10 years. When I moved up there, they didn't have a CAT scan. They had to go to Ottawa or Toronto for a CAT scan. By the time I left, they had 4 CAT scans and a $25 million rehab. And they said it was all by donation.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was something going on up there, and the amount of animals they tortured all of my animals. Like I worked for, like I told you, I worked for a mining company as a temp in 2003, 2004, called SNC Lavalin, And the other day I was on a whistleblower show, and there was a military guy on, and I said, yeah, I worked for SNC-Lavalin, and he went, Jesus, because that's where Justin Trudeau started to lose his shit, and we saw who he really was. He was bribed by SNC-Lavalin, and he went to the Minister of the Attorney General because they found out that SNC-Lavalin had performed a bribe on Libya to do some mining work. And I happened to have been the temporary secretary working during the bribe and didn't know it. I didn't, because I didn't need like mining company. Like, I'm a legal secretary. It's just like, I didn't put two and two together. And then one guy was in Libya, and the other guy was in the office every time, like all the time, at hours that he shouldn't have been, like when he should have been home sleeping. I'd get there at 7:30 and he'd look like he'd been there all night. So they were doing the bribe, and I was taking the place of their secretary so that she didn't get implicated. So when it came out that in 2015, I believe 2016, Justin went in 2015, and I believe it was 2016 or 2017 that it came forward that this bribe was out, and SNC-Lavalin was about to be charged. He went, the Ministry of the Attorney General at the time was a woman named Jody Raybould. And Justin went to Jody and said, what are we going to do about SNC-Lavalin? And at that point, he was bullying her. Justin loved to bully women. He had such a hate on for his mother, Maggie. That's why I know that it's not him. He's not the one dating Katy Perry, because Katy Perry reminds me more of Maggie Trudeau than Maggie Trudeau. Like, and that's his mom. His mom, are you familiar with any of the background on his mom?
Have I
No?
been?
Okay, so Maggie Trudeau,
No,
obviously married to the Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Trudeau, in the 70s, decided that instead of wanting to be the First Lady of Canada, she fucked off, and she went on tour with the Rolling Stones and did a bunch of blow.
What year was that?
1976, 75, 76.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she left the three boys behind. Justin is the oldest, and oldest kids usually turn to the managerial position. And so Justin's always had a real mommy issue because of that. I knew Justin was going to run for prime minister when Maggie Trudeau came out with a book in 2009 saying she was bipolar, and that's the reasons why she took off with the Rolling Stones. I'm like, fuck you. You're just a slut. I have a picture. Actually, I should try and find it. Well, yeah, there's a picture.
Let me do a segment on them too, and how much it's like. So when
I mean, it's just
stop.
Well, it's just crazy, right here. I'm going to find the picture. Actually, there's a picture that's very famous called Maggie's Beaver, and it's a picture of Maggie Trudeau. No. Yeah, you're gonna see it. No. It's Maggie. It's Margaret Trudeau, and she's at Studio 54. She's as high as balls, and she's sitting on the filthy floor of Studio 54. Right, here we go, Maggie.
Right. Well, we all know Studio 54 was.
Yeah. Well, we all know what was going on there, right?
Something in Studio 54. I mean, anybody from anybody was there, and Coke was the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and that's, she was just, wait till you see it. But anyway, she was sitting on she's sitting on the floor of Maggie Trudeau Beaver shot. Here we go. Okay, and so here I'm gonna send this to myself, and then I'm going to send it to us. Okay, screenshot. Anyway, so what happened was there's always photographers in the disco, and they caught her. She's sitting on the floor, and she's got no underwear on. So he's got a picture of her sitting on the filthy floor of Studio 54 with her vagina hanging out. And this became and Pierre Trudeau is the prime minister at this time.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, and this is also, this is what Justin has. This is his life. This is what he's lived with. Is hey Ma, look, it's me, right? So here we'll just. This is all good. This is a good one actually. So hold on.
Yeah, you know why? Basically, disco was dead.
Well, yeah, well, it's debauchery, right? Pure debauchery is. I mean, disco was just like everybody was fucking everybody, and they were doing whatever they wanted, whatever they could. You just see, okay, and then we'll see if I can roll this right on here. Is it coming? There we go. There's Maggie's Beaver. So as you can see it. You can see So this is a very famous photograph. So this is what Justin Trudeau grew up with, kids teasing him about, so on and so forth. And so, yeah. So it's called, that's the Maggie Beaver shot. So it fucked him up, right? He was not a very, like, even, and then in 1998, Justin's brother Michelle got caught with pot, and his dad got him off the charges. And then in November of that year, which was the same time Lars started stalking me, Michelle was skiing in Kokanee, BC, and he was crushed in an avalanche, and they never found him. So, and right after that, Pierre died. So, and that's when Justin, and they asked Justin, are you ever going to run for prime minister? And he's like, never. So when he finally did, it was up through a whole pile of bribes and other things like that. So, but yeah, so Justin Trudeau found out that I worked at SNC Lavalin because I was dumb. What can I say? I was dumb. And I got, when Jody Raybould was talking about it, I said, hey, wait, I was there. I worked there when they were in Libya. And the next thing I knew, within a week of me putting it on social media, somebody had poisoned my dog.
God.
And then
I need to take a break.
Yeah. No, he didn't take a breath. After that, I was his hobby.
I need to take a break.
Yeah. Oh, you need to take a break. Well, yeah, and then it just got worse from there. The animal torture just got worse and worse. Like, there was a veterinarian in town, Richard Lefebvre at Wyerton Animal Hospital. He stopped the heart of he was doing a standard neuter, and he gave the cat too much anesthetic, and he died on the table, and he resuscitated him and gave him back to me. And he was cold. His body was cold. I couldn't warm him back up. And so he ended up dying. And then my other cat, Indigo, they had stolen him. They kept catnapping them and keeping them for days catnapping their cats, right? They poisoned the dogs. Well, one of my dogs they gave ecstasy to. The golden retriever, they gave her edibles, mushrooms, and then they gave her benzos, and they almost killed her. I was on the floor with her for 3 days, giving her oral water in her mouth for intravenous, because I called the police. The police wouldn't help me. The police are involved. So it was just a nightmare up there. Like, everybody was involved in this shit. That's why, like, Doug Ford, his best friend, Rob Traversy, I believe his name is, he was supposed to become the commissioner for the OPP. And he turned it down in 2020 because he didn't want to get involved. Mm-hmm. And from 2020 to 2022, Doug Ford made $45 million. Now, that's right when pandemic lockdown was. And Doug Ford's family owns a sticker factory, or a label making factory. So that's a fuck ton of stickers. So again, the corruption up in Canada, like where we are, is just, it's insane. It's just, everybody's in on it, right? And there's photographs of Ford in Wyerton, which was just down the road from where I lived, every single, like, from 2017 right until like 2024, every year. So he was coming up there all the time. So, there was something going on. And I was just grateful to get the fuck out of that area. Yeah, I know, crazy. But yeah, so Justin made me his hobby. And
nice.
Yeah, that's how it happened. Well, it started out that it was our secret little friend and Lars that started this whole thing with the MK Ultra. They were doing what was called Theta, though, right? Because the lady, when Lars came up in 2017 with his wife, cokehead Jessica Miller, when he came up. Well, that's all she is. She's a cokehead. Well, that's all she did was she just even before he married her, right when he got engaged to her, I said, why don't you fucking pay your bills that you owe instead of latching yourself onto a gold digger? And that after that, it was on like Donkey Kong. He was fucking so mad.
Okay, it's after 7 o'clock here.
All right, yeah. So
take a break or something.
No. We'll just say, okay. At the end of we've taken a little bit of time here. We'll move on to the next part of the story, maybe tomorrow or next week or whatever. But the whole goal here is to tell everybody I am putting it out there. I'll give you a reward. I will, prove me wrong. And the way you're going to prove me wrong is I want you to show me a picture of this man. Where are we here? This guy here. I want to see this guy without a hat on. Okay. I want this guy here, this guy right here. Here we go. Get another one. Okay. This guy right here, I want him to take his hat off. So if you're going to a show, if you're going to a concert, if you're anybody who's going to a Metallica show, if you're going to see Metallica Vanilli this summer, I want you to bring a sign that says, Lars, take off your hat. Prove me wrong. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the skullet. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the skullet. If you can get me a picture of him, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking because he's got lots of pictures. Hold on, just let me add that picture right now. There's lots of pictures prior to 20. Gotta look back over here. Hold on. Before, here we go. Before Lars became a fake. Lars would not always wear without his hat. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the skullet. Okay, so this is all I need him to do is. But
you're not asking for much, are you?
No, all I'm asking him to do is take his hat off. Look at that's all I'm asking him to do. I'm asking him to go from this to this.
She really wants this,
right? Well, I mean, the thing is, prove me wrong.
Oh,
right.
Course.
I mean,
I'm just having fun with this.
Like some of these concerts, it's been so hot, he's taken his shirt off, but he doesn't take his hat off. Like the best way to stop overheating is to take your hat off.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't take his hat off. So that's what we're looking for. As you see here, they've already been doing articles on me. Metallica fan claims fake Ulrich, but tour shows otherwise. But they doesn't show otherwise. And then they actually gave me a platform to start talking about it. So that's what we're looking for. That was Marianne is a 5150. And yeah, it was really rough and then all over the place, but that's sort of my life right now. But thank you for my loyal guest and probably you're going to end up becoming my co-host.
Yeah.
Rexella Wynter. Yeah.
Rexella Wynter.
Well, Rexy, but you and I, this stuff, right? Like next time we'll talk about Megadeth, and Rexy knows everything about Megadeth. She knows tons about Randy Rhoads. Like both of us are big music fans, and we're just so disenchanted by the industry now and how stupid they think the fans are, and we're sad for the fans. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to wake the fans up, and that's all I'm asking for. Is just all I'm looking for is this idiot, not this guy who everybody likes. Everybody likes this guy, right? Mr. Nice Guy, who's like, but he doesn't spit on the fans anymore, spit Gatorade on them or anything like that. He's wearing a leather jacket. That is not a pleather jacket. His vegan wife would never let him wear that. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this douchebag. Okay. And I think everybody out there should know is that just this douchebag right here with the tongue sticking out. Now everybody should also know my lawyer has contacted Metallica directly because Q Prime no longer represents them. And when we went to send them legal notification, they told it to send it directly to Metallica HQ. So Metallica has my contact information. So everything I'm saying right now, all Metallica would have to do is send me a cease and desist and shut me up, but they haven't. So that tells you something, because these are the guys that sued 300,000 of their fans over downloading their fucking music. Right?
What a moron. Oh, what a moron.
Yeah,
I mean, my gosh, I could understand the whole, getting rid of Napster, screw over Napster, because that was the platform that they basically, got them to do it. But, I mean, really, you're going to go as far as just basically screwing over the fans because they wanted to
They hired a company that got the information, the names and addresses of 300,000 of their fans, and they took them and gave them to the feds. So they narked out 300,000 of their fans. And not only that, when they realized that it was no use suing them all, because they were going to sue them all, every single one of them, they said, okay, instead they get them knocked off the Napster platform because they just had to do something. They couldn't like Lars just can never leave anything alone. He couldn't just say, okay, well, fuck it. He had to make sure that he gave them one more fuck you.
But it was not fair for Metallica.
Yeah, money, right? So this is
fair.
Yeah. So this is what we want this hat off. So if any, we just wanted, all I wanted for it to come off. I want to see what's under there, and it should look like this, right? That's what I'm looking for. You know, it's not rocket science. Pardon the Elon Musk joke. It's not rocket science. It's, you know, I mean, here, I'll give you one more look at you know, another image of it. This is all I'm looking for. It's not hard to spot the difference between somebody who doesn't have this hairline and someone who does. And Lars was never like, I mean, it's not like he was ashamed of, first of all, the way he looked. This is fat Lars as well. But you know, I mean, so fat skullet Lars. But as you see, this is what I'm looking for. All I want is a headshot. Haha, pardon the pun. So that's what I'm looking for, fans. Prove me wrong. You know, you can tell me I'm crazy. It's already in the name of the show. Mariana's 5150. 5150 is the California code for escaped lunatic. So you don't need to tell me I'm crazy or schizo or whatever you want. That's fine. You can tell me I'm ugly. What else is new? I've been called worse by better. Prove me wrong. How about that? You know, shut me up. That's all. You know, I mean, I will get off my soapbox the minute I see this fucking bald head. That's all I'm looking for. So if any, that's all I'm asking for. So take signs and say, Lars, take off your hat. You know, that's all I'm asking. Or maybe when he walks by you, when he's going around the circle or whatever, grab his hat. Like, just do it. What do you think? Hey?
What was he going to do? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you grabbed his hat, now all the security.
Now you have to do is if you grab his hat, maybe show somebody else should actually take a picture. You know,
well, yeah, but if somebody, they've always got cameras on them anyways, right? Like as they're walking, the fans have always got. So somebody grabbing Lars's hat, that's like going to be big footage. That would be like, you'd be famous because you'd have uncovered the fucking, you know, the mole, the fake, the doppelganger. And all of a sudden, the thing is that what Metallica is doing is called fraudulent misrepresentation. They are making money off somebody who isn't there, promoting him as someone else. So it's fraudulent misrepresentation, and it opens up the window to class action lawsuits for fraud, and you can get your ticket money back. So all these people that have paid $1,000 and not been impressed, this is your time. This is your opportunity to get your money back. Because I don't know how many people I've heard that have said they just feel like Lars and James are going through the motions, and it's very mechanical. The only one who looks like he's having any fun is Robert, and that's it. So nobody's enjoying the shows the same way as they were. So all I'm saying to everyone here, and thanks for spending time with me while I could blab off, Rexy, is Lars, take off your fucking hat.
Lars,
prove me wrong. And James, quit drinking, man. It's not, you aren't doing yourself any favors. Like, let's, you know, if we want to reminisce just one more time before we go, let's take one more look at James and what he looks like now. Okay, this is what getting engaged.
It's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, but this is what getting engaged to an enabler looks like. Okay, this is not. Nobody loves you when you look like this. Okay, like nobody loves you. Like, this is not a happy man. This is a man that's like drowning his sorrows in something.
It's called beer or whiskey.
Well, it's just true. Like, Mama wannabe. I mean, like, what have you done to our James, right? Like, I mean, at least when he was Vegas James and you were Pepto-Bismol, which is another picture, which we'll put up. You know, I mean, we have that moment, but I mean, this is just like, he looks like, well, first of all, the whole look at me, I'm a cowboy thing is, especially because he's born in LA, but I'm a cowboy. And they're like, but he lives in Colorado now. I'm like, no, he lives in Marin County now. So yeah. So, I mean, I would rather have this than this. Okay. And that's 6 months. That's 6 months difference. Maximum a year. I mean, like, what are you doing to this man? And she's supposed to be she was a CrossFit instructor.
Really?
Yeah, that's where they met. Was instead of they said she was from Oxford and she lived in England and she was a journalist
Right.
and a
Oh,
designer,
I thought she
and
was a
then our
stalker.
our favorite stalker, Patty Blackwell, went in and found out this girl gave me so much information. She had all the addresses for Pepto Bismol for the last 10 years, including Marin County, which is where she's living at James Ranch and with her 3 kids. And yeah, like, I mean, it's like, it's not good. And anyway, but I said to that girl, she's got an unhealthy amount of James Hetfield information. And she said to me, well, there's a whole group of us. I said, then y'all are stalkers. Fuck it. There's a bunch of you. You're gang stalkers. So, I mean, he's gone from this to that. I mean, in like less than a year or a year. Okay. Like he's bloated from alcohol. He looks terrible. And I mean, you're not going to convince me of anything different. Like that's a fair face on shot, right? Like you looked happy here. Now you look not so much happy. So anyway, but so there you go. So everybody tell James, stop drinking. Tell James, put the pill bottle down. But this is the most important thing is that I want fake Lars to take his hat off. Okay. And that's the end of our show for today. Thank you, Rexy, for being here to laugh at me in a good way and talk to me because you're the best talker and such a great friend because apparently I have no friends. Yeah, right. So, but anyway, I appreciate it. So that's the first show. There'll be many others. We'll figure out another day to keep rambling on because that's all this is this is all pure tea spilling until we get it all out there like vomit. Or Pepto-Bismol.
Well, according to Basic, if you send any more pictures of this, you might need some Pepto-Bismol.
Well, yeah. Once we get, we haven't even gotten started because I haven't even told you about the affair that James had from 2019 to 2023 when he met Adriana. So he was cheating on Fran. He was cheating on Fran from 2019 to 2023 with Evelyn Shiflett, the girl we showed you the pictures of after she'd had all the surgeries. And he was lying about it and she was drinking with him. So James has not gotten any sober time. And in this picture here, this is when around the time that he had sex with Chad Kroger. But that's for another day.
I like how you kind of slipped that out there.
Well, it makes you stay tuned for the next episode.
Stay tuned for this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the best part is that Chad's not embarrassed of the fact he's bisexual, right? So it's like, but this guy, I call him Papa Brokeback. Right? Don't do things like that. And the worst part was apparently Evelyn took photographs. So I think there was a blackmailing that was going to be involved because she was still in cahoots with Lars then. So I think there was supposed to be a blackmail involved and that just didn't work out. So, but we wish Pepto-Bismol and Captain Papa Brokeback the best. But this doesn't look like, when you're looking for your best, that's not it. So let's hope we get some better shots this tour. But the shot I want is one of this. So y'all work on that for me since I'm not in Europe. I'm not Greek. Yeah. Well, we want a picture. We want a picture of the skullet. It's what I need. You make my dreams come true in 2026. Make me shut up. The only thing that I could think of because they did add the toothpick. They did add the toothpick in Abu Dhabi after him not having it for years. The only thing I can think of is that did this guy go to lengths to have his hair removed? Like laser treatment to have it removed so that he has a skullet to shut me up. It wouldn't surprise me. From all the things that have happened, it wouldn't surprise me. I will laugh and laugh and laugh if that's the fact. I'll be amazed. But yes, so that's the end of our show for today. Thank you for like nobody being here because we're pre-recording it.
Yeah.
But thank you, Rexy, for being the best co-host ever.
Oh,
and yeah, I think I might keep you as a regular
co-host. So
I think
you should be all right.
I think you should be my co-host because I think you're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, you get it, right? You're the same age as I am.
I've been I suffer from basically having a father that was totally sarcastic. So I went into the family.
Yeah, it's great. And the thing is that with that, I mean, this is what we need is we need a sense of humor with all this mentalness. And
What
there's
are we
just,
supposed to do? Take that seriously? We
yeah,
can't.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if you're going to turn out to be a clown, we're going to be laughing at.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. It's just I mean, in the end, it's just well, I mean I mean, at some point the truth is going to reveal itself. Like I mean, all of these little charades aren't. I mean, it's not going to go on forever. It can't. I mean, obviously it's killing James. This lie, like I mean, obviously it's killing James. Like having a secret is doing something to James. Look at him. That's a man with a secret. Okay. That's a man whose daughter's committed grand
Maybe it's
larceny.
under that cowboy hat.
Yeah. Howdy, partner in Greece. Well, see, Papa Brokeback is perfect, right? He's in Greece, right? He's a cowboy in Greece. Ah, there you go. See, so there's a method to his madness. He's a fashionista. So, but yeah, this is a man with something on his mind, obviously. And it's not fashion. So
I think that's why he's drinking. So
I actually there's a full length one, but I'll save it for the next time. But there's a full length one, and I mean, it's just like you looking at me, you're like, okay, you got on an airplane like this. You know what I mean? Like you didn't think to yourself, nah, I'd rather wear a hoodie and track pants. We're flying to Greece. It's gonna be like that's an 12-hour flight. Instead it's like, no, I'm gonna look like Johnny Cash. Right,
Johnny
I did say, well, this is what's Papa Brokeback, Johnny Brokeback. I did say to James, and this is what I said, is that if Metallica breaks up, now if they get because this guy Lars, he can play drums, but can he record? He's done no recording, so there's not going to be another Metallica album unless they bring in a new drummer. So
so they should have done maybe like 30 years ago.
Yeah, when they should have brought Chris Adler in or Dave Lombardo, anybody, fucking anybody. Me,
oh, God,
I don't.
It probably would be better just to conjure up John Bonham from the dead. Would be better.
Yeah, they could have even a seance of John Bonham would have been better than fucking what they've gone. I mean, since the turn of the century, since the turn of the century. Lars Ulrich has been the worst drummer, okay? Since fucking Saint Anger, he has not played one good song. There's been nothing but snare. And it's like, I can't even, like, I listened to 72 Seasons once, and I just was like, snare. No, not happening. So anyway, that's fine. But as you can see, this man's got something on his mind. So he doesn't look like he's happy. He doesn't look like he wants to rock and roll. He looks like he wants to crawl under a rock. Right? So, and have a drink. So,
you know what?
Well, I mean, he went from like, I mean, this is a year, right? Like here he was hanging out with Chad Kroger here. Now, Chad Kroger has a gluten allergy, so he wasn't eating any gluten, right? Yeah. James wasn't eating any gluten, so that's why he's so skinny in the picture, and he looks pretty good, right? But this is, this is a man with something on his mind now. And he's not very happy. Like, I mean, obviously she's not making him happy if he looks like this. I mean, he's gone directly from not bad Elvis Vegas James to, I mean, I can't even call him Vegas James right now.
It's just like, I don't know.
It's like geriatric James. And I'm not saying that I'm the most beautiful person in the world either, right?
60s. He's
getting there. It's like I'm just looking at him, I'm like, he's 8, like in the 6 months that he's been off since Abu Dhabi, this is what he's gone to. And it's just like, like, when are you going to like just get honest with your fans and call it a day? But they have they've made $1.4 billion already this tour, just in ticket sales, not in merch. They've probably made $2 billion in merch. And then they've got these shows all over Europe, and then they're doing the Sphere. And of course the Sphere, some of those tickets were $11,000 for one show, right? And they've made it so that it's 8 shows in a row that they won't be playing the same song any night. So some fucking idiot out there with too much money is gonna be like, I gotta go to all 8 shows. So, and yeah, there will be like, it's like, how much money do you need? Like, and somebody said
all 8 of them.
Yeah, somebody was saying, oh, well, he's worth $300,000. I said $300 million. I said, well, $300 million isn't going to mean a thing if he has a stroke or he has kidney failure or he has liver failure or a heart attack, because that's what happens when you drink alcohol and you smoke cigars like he does. And she's supposed to be, and Pepto-Bismol is supposed to be a teacher. So how is she keeping him fit? She's not. She's letting him do whatever he wants. Which
well,
at
maybe
least,
because she's just waiting for him to go. So maybe she.
well, yeah, because then she's going to score big, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is that at least Francesca, no matter how everybody wants to criticize her, that she was really hard on him, and she was really hard on him. She tried to keep him sober. She did everything he could, including humiliating him, videotaping him drunk while he was masturbating in front of the computer, passed out with his fucking wing wang in his hand. I mean, she had the kids involved with it. Oh yeah, no, this is all true. They tried anything to get him to stop his wing wang. Well, I mean, but Lars's is a mini Willie, and but you get the idea.
The microscopic.
But this to me is a man in distress. I've never seen James look so unhealthy in my whole life. And I mean, in 2019, which I'll show next time, when we were in the fat James era, he didn't look as bad as he does here. There's something going wrong here. Like there's something on the, and I bet you part of it is that he's shitting himself because he knows it's Metallica Vanilli. So he's lying to his fans more and more. So it's starting to tax on him because it's got to come to an end. I mean, I reported them to the FBI. So, I did. I said, but the FBI already knows, obviously. They're the ones who arrested Lars. Anyways, all right. So that's the end of it. Rexy, you have a great evening. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You just cracked my ass up. Yeah. So if maybe we'll try. I'll hit you up and you tell me when the next time you want to talk shit again is, and that we'll do it again.
Well, we could talk shit about so many things just from people on Twitter.
Well, that, listen, we could go through that when I get off here and I could tell you about today. All these kids are like, she's back. She's back. I'm like, bitch, I never left.
Gone?
Well, yeah, well, it's the girl that says Lars is fake. I said, prove me wrong. All I ask is that you prove me wrong. Right?
All I got out of this is one that hates Metallica and the other one thinks Lars.
Yeah, this is all I'm looking for. I mean, the guy doesn't even see his tongue out the same as Lars. I mean, I don't know.
You got a real funny tasting man.
I could just imagine. Like, I mean, definitely the women that married him did not marry him. They married him for his money. They did not marry him because he's definitely, I don't know.
Yeah, Skylar, she was 5'11". What is she like?
5'11", and so was this one here, the cohort. This one.
Yeah, well, yeah, she looks like a giant next to him too.
Yeah, I know she does. Well, that's it. It's like he likes to look like a gnome beside his wives. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like I never understood the guy. Never liked him. But I mean, he just after Cliff died, like he was the one who booked the bus in Sweden. He was the one who booked the bus, and he cheaped out, and he made sure that there was a fucking cardboard thing in the window. Like the window was covered over with cardboard. That's what Cliff fell out. And they should have never gotten on that bus. And I believe that if Cliff had lived, I believe Cliff would have said after that, it's either him or me. I
don't think Cliff wanted to stay. As far as I gather, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know any of these guys totally personally. I just know from research and a little bit this and that, because I've been basically involved with, I'm familiar with this band since I was 14 back in the 80s. So, from what I understand, I don't think Cliff, in my gut, from like all this, I don't think he wanted to stay. I think he was just basically, he's in the band, he's writing out, he has songs, and he's putting it through. But I think pretty much, I have a feeling that,
what kind of a pocket is that?
Like, would have been the last of him.
Yeah, like, I mean, the thing is that, like, the bass player and the drummer are a pocket. That's what they're called, the pocket. And what kind of a pocket is that when you've got this amazing virtuoso bass player and this guy who couldn't even play bass before he had a band, play drums before he had a band? I mean, Lars could not play drums before. When he met James Hetfield, the very first time he met James Hetfield, the first time they jammed, Lars never played drums before.
No, I thought he basically messed around with it. He couldn't play tennis anymore, so he started learning how to play drums.
Nope. He had a picture of Filthy Animal from Motorhead on the wall, and he said, I want to be him. And that was when he started to want to play drums, but he never learned to play drums until the band started. And he never practiced, never ever practiced. So I mean, it just he's the one that held the band back. I mean, who knows where Metallica would be now, right? Even Dave Mustaine said the other day, if I was still in the band, we'd be like Beatles now.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people think that's true. I go, no, they probably would. All they would have to do is get rid of Lars.
Yeah, get rid of Lars, got a decent drummer.
There.
Yeah, or throw Gar Samuels in, even if it had been like Gar Samuels or Nick Menza, somebody like that, even like where somebody comes from Megadeth.
I am so pissed that Nick Menza's dead. He was fantastic. That guy was a beast back there. I used to just love watching him play.
You know who's big with him and done a lot of stuff with him is David Ellefson. David Ellefson did a documentary on Nick Menza as well.
I saw it.
Did you see it? Is it any good?
Yeah, it actually is very good. I mean, Dave does a little bit slow. He gets a little bit slow because
like Dave,
family and stuff. But you want to cry because it's like because he was such a sweetheart. But he
was a cokehead
drummer.
That's the thing. He got an enlarged heart from, he was using cocaine like they were all using back then. Dave and Dave were doing speedballs all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, back then they were living dangerously. So, and it's very sad, especially because David Ellefson was such a religious guy coming from there. Like I've talked to his original roommate, Greg Handelvet. Oh, this is for another day, but we'll talk about our Megadeth stuff another day. But I talked to the original roommate and I've debunked the flower pot myth. I told you this, right?
You debunked what?
The flower pot story. The original flower pot story.
Yeah.
I debunked it.
Air conditioning unit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. Okay. But the real story goes like this, and then that'll be the end of our show. Okay. So the real story goes like this. Okay. For anybody out there who doesn't know the story, do you want to tell the original story?
Yeah. The original story was how he met Dave Ellefson.
That's right.
They were both. They happened to both be in the same apartment building complex, and Dave was like on a second level or an upper level. And just below him, the unit below him happened to be Dave Ellefson and a friend of his. I can't remember his name.
His name was Greg Handelvet. His name was Greg Handelvet. I've interviewed him.
Oh, okay. So basically, they, Ellefson was basically playing around with his bass. And, they were playing the beginning of, I guess, what was it?
Running with the Devil.
Running with the Devil by Van Halen. And it was pissing Dave off because Dave was probably all fucked up or hung over. And he told him to shut up. And eventually he got tired of basically telling these guys to shut up. And he took a flower pot and crashed, tossed it down and threw it down onto those old air conditioning units that used to be in the window.
Yep.
And next thing you know, Ellefson comes up and knocks at the door. And according to what you're telling me, it wasn't Dave that did that.
Yeah, well, this is where I'll interject. What happened really was the whole Running with the Devil story is true. However, Dave Mustaine had a roommate. Dave was doing telecommunications. He was doing one of those telecommunication places. He actually got Dave Ellefson and Greg Handelvet both jobs there too. But he was living with a girl named Tracy Silver. And Tracy Silver, I have interviewed. She is a wild card. Okay. She's this is why I knew it wasn't a lie. And she is the one. Greg told me the story first. And he said, no, it wasn't. He goes, it wasn't Dave that threw the flower pot. It was Tracy. He said Tracy was sleeping. She was hungover. And she's kept telling Dave, I wish they'd shut the fuck up. And then she finally went to the thing and got this flower and threw it. Right. And I've not met her, but I've interviewed her. And yeah, it's definitely her. And so, yeah. And actually, interestingly enough, it was in my notes that Dave Mustaine took when he wrote his book. And when he refers to Greg Handelvet, who is a lawyer now, and he's good friends with Dave Ellefson, and I was actually kind of friends with him for a while too. He says, I don't know what Greg Handelvet's doing, even though Greg's a very successful lawyer in Minnesota. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably just digging ditches because we debunked him. Right. We did. Dave liked his little rock and roll story. But the truth is that Tracy Silver was the one that did it. Dave went down, knocked on the door to apologize.
Ah,
and said,
because
"Hey
Dave is an
man, you
actual
got
human being.
yeah." Said, "Hey man, sorry for this, my fucking roommate. So woohoo, and y'all want to go for a drink?" And they're like, "We're underage." He's like, "Well, I'll go get some beer." And that's the real story,
Yeah, I
which is
always
more
thought that was
believable.
kind of a weird part where he said like, we can get some cigarettes, and he's like, no,
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
the door, and then basically he'll say, well, are you look to my beer? And he's like, no, you're talking. And it's like that is kind of really strange.
Doesn't make any sense. And it really
Yeah,
what it was he was like, "Look, I'm sorry, my roommate, she's fucking crazy, and can
he came out to
yeah,
be peaceful.
why don't we have a few drinks and make see how it goes, and let's talk music." And that's how Megadeth became. But
Yeah,
the flower pot story sounded more metal if Dave was evil, but Dave is a sweetheart. The only people that broke his heart is Metallica, and Metallica. They did. I mean, Dave funded that U-Haul drive. Like he paid for the U-Haul and the gas and everything. Those guys were broke. Dave was the only one with a job, and Dave
yeah,
was
but
the one.
Lars was a spoiled brat.
Yeah, but his parents wouldn't help him for whatever
Oh.
reason. His parents weren't. They just didn't he just didn't. He wasn't. They're Danish, right? So they're cheap. Right. I
Oh.
think his parents were in real estate or something. I don't know what they were doing. They didn't have like real jobs. Like I know his mom was like the reason she died, she was a heavy smoker and she died of breast cancer. And about right around the time that Lars started stalking me was when she died. So he was already off his fucking nut. But yeah, so if Dave was one. Dave put his whole heart into it. Like he's a Virgo, he put his whole heart into this thing, and they took complete and total advantage of him. Totally.
Yeah.
So
Wrong
yeah,
guy to
so
manage.
yeah. Well, then I mean, and then so when these people say, "Well, why does he never shut up about Metallica?" And it's like, well, has Metallica ever apologized for being pricks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody thinks like, he's the big bad guy. And we all know Dave is no angel. That's for sure.
No, well, no, he's not.
So,
He's not. And Lars, but you know what Lars used to do? They'd go to parties and he'd fucking be the mouthpiece, start the fight with somebody, and have Dave or James finish it.
yeah. Well, there was even a story about how basically Lars tore apart some girl's posters and everything out of her room. It was like kind of really cool looking posters and pictures. He
Right.
vandalized somebody
Jealous.
else. And they blamed Dave. And it was like, he's like, Dave, I had nothing to do with it. That was Lars.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well,
so it was a lot of basically they kept trying to turn the tables and making Dave look like the bad guy.
oh
Even
yeah.
though, like I said, Dave is no, Dave is definitely no angel.
No.
But the thing is, I don't even, when I heard the stories back, even back in the early 80s, it
Right.
didn't even, I'm like, wait a minute, you're trying to tell me this guy's a bastard, but you guys are pricks. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody knows
exactly.
you guys are son of
Oh
a
no, Lars
drunk
was an
ass
asshole. When Lars had people stalking me when I was renting a room in my apartment, I had one girl. Her name was Michelle, who was staying there. She liked to be called Mitch, and they stole all my concert shirts, and they took the shoelaces out of my Iron Maiden shoes.
Oh, did
That's what? That's the kind of
you
stuff.
took the shoelaces out of your Iron Maiden shoes?
Yeah, because because I'm a poser.
Oh.
I'm a poser. Yeah, no, I mean that was how Lars was. He was just like so. I had a Death Angel. He stole my Death Angel shirt and my Testament shirt that I had just got at the concerts. And he's like, "You're a poser. You don't know these bands." La la la. And
name 3 songs.
Yeah, basically, right? Same thing. And it was just, and to me, it was just like more than anything. I'm always of the philosophy that if you go to a show, not these big arena shows, but when you go to the smaller club shows, buy a shirt. It was when I was doing journal work, I said, don't be a dick, buy a shirt. If you can afford it, buy a t-shirt because that's what the bands are living on, especially the opening acts. Metallica does not pay their opening acts. They give them gas money and they pay for their craft service, but they don't pay for anything else. They don't pay them. And in keeping that in mind, it's all based on t-shirt sales. Like Days of the New,
I thought they changed that. I thought they basically started paying them, but
it could have changed. But in '98, Days of the New went home owing money.
Well,
so yeah.
There's also another story that nobody wanted to open up for them. I don't know, about 20 years ago either. So I heard about that on the radio. Yeah, I was. Remember Mancow? Are you familiar with who Mancow is?
Oh yeah, okay.
He's a DJ. He was a DJ originally from LA, but he's been like like a scumbag DJ in Chicagoland for a long time.
Yeah.
And he was around in the 80s and 90s, and then he disappeared, and then he came back. Well, somewhere in, I think it was, I can't basically remember exactly the year it was, but I remember driving my car coming back from a job, and I was like, probably early 2000s or something. And I heard on the radio, Mad Cow was talking about Metallica. They were looking for somebody to open up with them because they contacted him to find a band to open up for because they couldn't get anybody to open up for them. And I was laughing my complete ass off. I'm like, gee, why would that be?
Yeah, because they're not paying. That was the thing. They were not like.
It was the same. I figured they were just complete assholes and an embarrassment to metal.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that like when I did the fan club booth a couple of times, they don't even give you tickets to the show for working the fan club booth. You have to have a ticket. And so basically, Lars was all about that. It was an honor to work for Metallica. And that everything it was I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. You know, I mean, I wish I was joking, but it's not. That people would do it for free. People were like traveling around and they were never comped. Never comped. If I had Coke, I probably would have got comped, but I didn't. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4 fan club booth nights, and I had to have my own ticket. You know. Yeah, I mean, so they were just the cheapest bastards, and James too. Like James knew exactly what was going on. It's the same with the reason why he started stalking me in 2012 when he found out about the anniversary party, because he didn't want to pay me the money he owed me. Right, so he started following me around, telling everybody I was a lesbian pedophile. You know,
we went through the whole
the whole thing. You know,
a really confused person.
Yeah. So yeah, say hi to Jake. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah. So again, one last time, let's just say a prayer tomorrow night. Let's say a prayer for him. Okay.
Okay.
Say a little prayer for him. Let's hope you can make it through the show, James. Hopefully sober. And what we're looking for is this. Don't forget, folks. This is what we're looking for. We need to see the head. We want the skullet. Okay, skullet or bust.
Oh gosh!
All right.
If I saw that walking down the street, I'd be running.
Skullet or bust. That's all I'm looking for, right? I'm not looking for anything more. I'm easy to please. That's all I'm looking for. You know, I'm a simple woman. It's all I'm looking for. And people are getting mad at me, and they're saying, "I'm like, look at you. Everybody takes their hat off at least once in fucking 4 years. This man has not. Well, this guy did, but this fucking guy hasn't. This guy here has not. Okay, he doesn't even look like him. He kind of looks like him, but he doesn't. He looks like an older, skinnier version of him. He's definitely older than. Well, he's definitely older than Lars.
I would think it was him with plastic surgery. That's what I would.
Yeah,
think.
well, yeah, but
like
Lars Ulrich is European. He would never have cosmetic surgery. Right? This is just an older man. Whoever it is looked like Lars, but he's older than Lars. And the longer he's in the band, like there was I'll have it for next time. When he intros the Sphere concerts, he was on a Stern, and it doesn't even look like Lars. It looks like an old. It doesn't, and then people are like, he's just getting older. I'm like, no, it stopped. It stopped looking like him. It's the same with Bill Clinton. It stopped looking like him. Like, it just doesn't look like him anymore. So yeah, so again.
Well, here it is.
But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to wonder if this is a doppelganger. The only reason why it's not is because of all the doodle art. The doodle art tells me, nobody else would do that to their neck. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, So James, we're worried. We're very worried. Don't die. Stop drinking. Your grandkids. Stop it. Even though you haven't admitted to the grandkids yet, which is another day. All right. So we've hit the 2-hour mark, just over. So I want to thank you, Rexy, for your time. This is Marianne is 5150, and she definitely is. And we're going to just keep going whenever. These will be whenever, and I'll just throw them up whenever. And I hope everybody watches them. And yeah, hate me as much as you like, but prove me wrong. And until you prove me wrong, kiss my ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's made her point.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Rexy. Okay,
All right, no
bye.
problem.
Stop
Bye.
recording.